Welcome to my list of the best games to come out in 2021. I am severely late. Remember when 2021 was the worst gaming year ever? If that's from a production standpoint, then yes, I agree wholeheartedly. But the people who look at a list of games and see that none of them are Game of the Year material are looking at it the wrong way. If none of 0 games I mention within the next long moments put at least a little bit of a smile on your face at one point in time, then I don't know, I'm sorry for being so assumptive. Maybe this was a bad year for you. I'm sorry. For me though, 30 games made my list. 30. 3 10s. These are my favorite video games of 2021. That feeling you get when you're cleaning your room, a usually 1-hour job, and then you get so distracted by the stuff you forgot about, it'll now take 4 hours to clean your room? Yeah, that's unpacking, except I don't remember any of the stuff. Almost no words are spoken in this game, yet the puzzles say ever so much. There's a journey within these little knickknacks. That journey relies on heavy interpretation most times, and it works ever so beautifully. Okay, so technically this came out in 2020, but I didn't own a machine I could comfortably play it on until 2021 when it released on the Series X. Microsoft Flight Simulator is a wonderful, relaxing experience. The level of detail on most of these locations is astounding and awe-inspiring. The controls are actually well made for a controller as opposed to a keyboard and mouse or a more dedicated setup. It's just a really nice time all around. Taking the fun of game development and making it quite accessible, Game Builder Garage is a sweet little game that I very much appreciated. There will be a lot of comparisons to Labo here, as it has the same overall tone and quirkiness you've come to expect from this type of game. Even the tutorials are fun. That sounds very bare minimum for a game all about teaching you mechanics and gizmos and game logic, but it's less linked in learning and more colorful cacophony. Everyone's been trying to pick up that co-op shooter hole that Left 4 Dead made lately. Everyone's also been, and I say this with extreme anger, totally unfair to Back 4 Blood. I tried to play this with friends and they all kind of fell out of it, and that mindset was also mine for a bit. But recently, I got back into it, and ended up finishing it. Does it hit the highs? Not all the time, but it scratches that itch for me. It's also not the biggest disappointment in video games that everybody says it is. It's still a good old 4-player co-op shooter. I didn't grow up with Pokemon Snap on the N64, because I was a Pokemon Stadium kid. Snap was just, yay, you take pictures and you bring them to Blockbuster, yay. But somehow I heard that Snap was the best when it first came out. It's one of the most beloved Pokemon games. Although I didn't understand it before, I still got pretty excited when new Pokemon Snap was revealed. After the game came out, I finally understood some of the appeal. It was Pokemon being Pokemon. Not battling, not under a trainer's watch, just wild Pokemon. Engaging with their environment, engaging with each other. It makes for some standout moments aside from the ones the game shows proudly and whatever. The subtle moments are the best ones to me, and in new Pokemon Snap, there's plenty of them to capture. A new Mario Golf? Mm-hmm. New designs, characters, and courses? Mm-hmm. A new story mode with some pretty funny dialogue? Mm-hmm. I'm more of a tennis boy than a golf boy, but golly, this golf is some good golf. I'm not even talking about speed golf or even the stadium, the turf war. No, Mario Golf is at its best when everyone's just watching you and they're watching you succeed, or they're watching you mess up on a regular turn-taking course and regular turn-taking gameplay. That's where Mario Golf Super Rush shines. Mario Good, you know this. I haven't been a big fan of simulation racers in a long time. Last one I played religiously was Gran Turismo 4 with my shitty Suzuki Cappuccino. Then a friend of mine started playing Forza Horizon 4. I play with him a bit, we got a couple more friends in, and it's a blast, racing and drifting along the London lands. Now what's this? This beautiful looking game. You got the desert, the open roads, the Mercedes-Benz. Oh. Forza Horizon 5 was one of the biggest surprises for us this year. The massive verticality of Mexico allows for so many more memorable moments, and Event Lab takes that to such a whole new level. Forza Horizon 5 is such a winner. I wasn't expecting any Pokemon remakes on the Sword and Shield engine. That's exactly what I didn't get. What I got was a bit more appreciated. Can you tell Diamond was my first main Pokemon game? I blasted through Diamond, and every story beat, every twist and turn of the road, I remembered. I remember the climax of the game with Spear Pillar satisfyingly sizzling in my ears. I remember just how fun it was to experience my first Pokemon game 15 years ago. I'm not excusing the missing at launch features, but rather, I'm happily reminiscing. Oh, and Brilliant Diamond's better than Shining Pearl because Brilliant Diamond's the one that I picked. Meh. Not the first remake-styled game on my list, and certainly not the last, Banana Mania is a winner. These are the hard-as-hell levels I know and love from hours and hours of Super Monkey Ball 2 back in the day. Some of the minigames feel a little different on this engine, but they're still a blast to play with friends. The extra characters are a big bonus, and honestly, it's really nice to play a solid Monkey Ball game once more.
Incredible! This is where the first Psychonauts met. This is where it all began. No, Raz. This is where it all ended.
I got into Psychonauts very, very late to the party. I'm not going to claim I was a big Psychonauts fan back in the day, but the monumental hype revolving around Psychonauts 2 was way too enormous to not give the games a try. Well, as a new fan, the game is so worth it now. Double Fine should be very proud of what they've brained up after all these years. It's a turn-your-brain-on platforming adventure. I'm not the biggest fan, but I know some people who are, and they're very happy, and I can see why.
So, when is a dessert not just a dessert? I have something to share. So?
Okay, look, I clearly haven't opened it yet, and I know there are baby clothes inside.
I just bought them today. How could you know?
Time is never on anyone's side, especially not yours in 12 minutes. The terrifying creaks of the floorboards, the simple truths that hurt, cutting to the bone. 12 minutes is a thoughtful, manic, messed up journey that deserves and demands multiple playthroughs. Objection! Finally, holy shit, finally. These two games have escaped localization for years, and now people can finally lawyer up in the yesteryear with the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. It's been 5 long years between the last new game in the series, and I'll say that the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles will probably make up for another 5 years, but actually no, oh god, please don't take that long again, please. A lot of people were hyping it up, pleading, begging for it to not suck. So now, did Battlefield 2042 hit the standards for some people? No. But for me, yes. Very yes. I barely remember Battlefield launches, let alone most game launches. There will always be promises to make the game better post-launch for any game, mind you. But from what I think of the game now, yeah, it's still pretty fun. Again, Battlefield used to be the main game time game for some of my friends, and this is one I can comfortably sit back and play with them. It feels good to fire, the playable classes are still great with their abilities, and dang it, it's just nice to take to the skies again in a modern day set shooter. I'm not going to claim that I was a big Ratchet & Clank fan back in the day, but the monumental hype revolving around Rift Apart was way too enormous to not give the games a try. Well, as a new fan, the game is so worth it now. Each weapon feels so good and satisfying to fire. It's a turn your brain off, blast everything adventure. I'm not the biggest fan, but I know some people who are, and they're very happy. I can see why. I got into Guardians of the Galaxy okay, I'm kidding, but I had a bit of low expectations for this one. And this is also coming from a big fan of Avengers. Good God, it's a shame that many people had the same thoughts about this game because it's truly a fun time, having now played it. The game works in such a great original story, making personal dialogue choices and satisfying combat to boot. Please, don't miss out. Guardians of the Galaxy is a fun one. PlayStation games have, as most people have noticed, fallen into this archetype after The Last of Us came out so many years ago. These gritty, powerful games with stories and stunning characters and, over-the-shoulder combat. It's fun to dunk on it, but we still can't say that these are bad games. What reminded me of that was Ghosts of Tsushima. Again, it technically came out in 2020, but in 2021 it got a re-release on a system that doesn't sound like a hairdryer when you turn it on. Ever so satisfying combat, a brilliant score, dazzling visuals, Ghosts of Tsushima is one of Sucker Punch's best projects ever. Thank you for the Sly Cooper references and this fox petting. My partner really likes those. Talk about surprise. While I was waiting for Brain Age to come overseas, that was only because I thought I would never see Big Brain Academy ever again. Well, now that Big Brain Academy Brain vs. Brain is out, y'all across the pond can keep your jelly styluses and your rock, paper, scissors and Nicole Kidman. A focus on multiplayer lets me show my friends what I spent most of my younger years doing before they all start to look at me weird and ask if we can finally go get something to eat. I don't need to eat, thank you. There's already something comforting and fulfilling whenever I look at that face. From the leaks, to the reveal, to the release, Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl is a fun time. You wouldn't expect it to work, but it works very well. Crossover fighting games are my kryptonite, and Nick Brawl very much fits that bill. I'm not very competitive in terms of actual competition, but I love just laying back and having a fun time with buddies. Closer to release, I wasn't in a good mindset to learn its intricacies, but then I played it more. And I'm hooked.
It's fucking Garfield!
Oh,
Kill him! Everybody get this motherfucking...
I sense suffering here, Spirit. Do you need help?
The most beautiful looking game I've seen all year, Kena Bridge of Spirits is a marvelous adventure game. With each new element of gameplay, the combat felt more and more satisfying in every battle. There's a deeper story within these hallowed lands, and yes, it got my own waterworks flowing at one point. Kana's just a grand old time, and I cannot wait to see what Ember Lab creates in the future. While a little harder to jump right into than other games in the series, WarioWare Get It Together nevertheless hits it right out of the park. I bit my tongue, ow. Rather than making another quirky motion or touch-based game, Wario wears the Switch well with a focus on co-op and multiplayer games. There's more here than at first glance. There's so much to unlock and explore. Another great project from Wario. WarioWare never gets old. Okay, yeah, no, get ready for a bunch of Nintendo games in a row, oops. Continuing with a game that already came out 5 years before 2021. Oops. And it's a turn-based RPG! Oops. Nintendo somehow always finds a way to make turn-based RPGs engaging to me. The fact that these characters are your friends, your acquaintances, some random people, some famous people, it all gets me very much invested. The presentation really gets me as well. Instead of poisoned or frozen, sometimes it's jealous or tricky. You, as this unseen power, give a character 1,000 gold to get a new weapon and they come back with a banana. It's a Tomodachi Life D&D, if you will. If you missed it on the 3DS, try it out on the Switch. One gigantic Mario level. They did it! In 3D World's game style, no less. One giant collectathon with familiar gimmicks and masterful, threatening new opponents. At some point, Mario controls so much better here than he does in Odyssey. Yeah, I know what I said. Even though it's super short, I loved every single moment of it. You know this because I 100%ed it the morning it came out. Mario good, you know this. If there's one Switch game you should buy from this year, it's probably this one. Again, the Nintendo bias is showing. You would not ever be able to catch me playing a Metroidvania unless you trick me, or unless it's Metroid. I usually look up walkthroughs to save myself from piercing headaches, but for this one I tried to not do that. Well, I did get a big headache or two, not knowing what to do at times. The rest of the game was pure bliss. Twists and turns along the way. This is absolutely the new Metroid game fans have been begging years for. Even if you've never played a game of the series, Dread will welcome you with open arms.
Idea what's out there.
Sure I do. Freedom.
I'd never played Dishonored before, so when I heard that this was just violent Dishonored, I almost brushed Deathloop off. I'm so glad I didn't. At first, yes, it's very daunting. There's no true way to ease anyone into a time loop game. However, once you get further in and the mission becomes clear, or clearer than just kill everyone, you're open to explore and find the ways to get everyone where they need to be. This slick 70s looping love letter made me realize, I should play Dishonored, shouldn't I? Splitgate blossomed over the past years, and that's the best thing for us. The game feels smooth, the shots are tight, the portals are plenty, and this game's version of Gun Game is probably one of the best feeling versions in the world. With a curtain call on main features and a new game on the way, Splitgate has a shiny spot in my go-to multiplayer games for the years to come. How are we doing so far? Still with me here? Do your picks match with mine? Yes, no, maybe so? Please, let me know what your favorite games were in 2021. I love reading and hearing about your picks. The next 5 games moved around a lot within this list, especially with the time I had to make this list. But like in 2020, I had to sit down and really, really commit to an order. I think I did pretty well. I better have. I'm not changing the order again. The final 5. Here we go.
Dr. Hakim, they have to stay together.
Gotta work overtime.
You can't just give up.
Co-op, co-op, co-op. What a concept. Hazelight now has 2 of the best co-op games ever made under their belt. For a realistic, dramatic experience, they made a way out. For a bombastic, colorful, wonderful time, they made It Takes Two. I'm 3 playthroughs down with at least 3 more down the line. If you get bored playing It Takes Two, it's either your fault or your friend's fault. It Takes Two tells a story, but the ones about small gameplay moments you'll tell your other friends are the cake takers here. Please, don't miss out on It Takes Two. I haven't played a Guilty Gear game truly since Guilty Gear X2 on the PS2. Exard flew past my radar, although I tried to stay in the know, and then, yeah.
Can't you see I'm blazing?
Strive is such a joy to watch. I am very bad at this game is what I'm trying to say, but God, what a game to watch. And hear. Anime fighters have reached new heights with Strive. My goodness. This is the best fighting game of 2021, hands down. Deathloop may have had me eliminate 8 targets in one go, but only one game had me steal a detective's outfit, walk in a big mansion, solve a murder mystery, halfway through allow me to say fuck it and just shoot everyone in this stupid whodunit mansion before I realized, shit, it would have just been easier to just solve the murder mystery. And that's not even my favorite level. In 2020, one of my friends got into the World of Assassination arc of Hitman. Stealth's not my thing, so I didn't truly want to get into the games until that amazing Hitman 3 trailer came out. The FOMO hit me hard, and I jumped in. After giving the games another shot, I realized just how fun these games are. Hitman 3 perfects the World of Assassination while changing up the formula here and there. Now branded as Hitman World of Assassination, the package lets one play even the first 2 games missions, making for an all-in-one package that can't be beat. The World of Assassination awaits. Mario, good. You know this. As you learned last year, or 2020, Jesus. As you learned in 2020, Mario has a special, stupidly special place in my heart. Yes, I'm very much not the only one who grew up with him. But that's the beauty of it. Anyone can take a look at this dude and the memories flow, ranging from a nice willowing recollection to unforgettable moments. A long, long time ago, I would come home to play whatever Mario Party I could by myself after school. When I lived with my cousins, it would just be Mario Party time all the time. The seldom times I came over to my other cousins' houses, it'd be Mario Party time. The few times I went to my friends' houses as a kid, it was Mario Party time. When I wasn't playing Mario Party, I'd watch other people play Mario Party online. And then I'd play Mario Party and act like my friends were playing with me. Some of my most cherished memories with my friends are when we played Mario Party.
Oh! You ready for the fucking Yoshi ball?
Oh my god.
Oh shit.
Get fucked!
That was so sad. You know, I don't claim to be good at Mario Party.
There's an unbreakable, chaotic energy with Mario Party. And now, instead of lugging around my GameCube or scrounging around a friend's house for a good controller or 4, Mario Party Superstars allows me to bring that good old chaos wherever I please. I don't know, I just find this game to be quite special. Maybe I'm trying too hard to repeat the past. We all have jobs and stresses and life and other life things, and back then it was just so grand. I'm sure we all have that one game that shuts us up and has us reminisce. Not just the game, but the environment we were in. What kind of stresses we had if we didn't mentally block it out at the time. Who we played with. Who stopped playing. There's nothing wrong with remembering any wonderful time in your life, but there's nothing that can come close to what that specific game brought specific people. So you take that idea, you take what was truly special, and with that as the vision, you start anew. And from there, the possibilities are infinite. Those multiplayer memories are irreplaceable. While Infinite tries to not replace those memories outright, the way the game plays is ever so satisfying and takes one back to those days. And hey, if you were never around for those days, it still feels good outright to shoot everything and everyone. This is the best that Halo has felt. Not in years, not in a specific installment, this is the best that Halo has felt to play. And then the campaign dropped. And for all of its faults, I couldn't help but smile much more the whole way through. It's different, way different. Halo in an exploratory open world setting, in theory, shouldn't work. And it does. I can't exactly put it into words. It's more than just a franchise I love so dearly finally releasing a new installment. It's more than just add a grappling hook to one of the most satisfying first-person shooters ever made. It's a lot more. It's getting to reunite with an old friend and keeping more new memories with them. It's realizing that all your great memories don't ever go away. It's remembering that no matter what you do, no matter how stressed out you are, no matter how bad it is, no matter what, you're still here. And with your presence, and your presence alone, the possibilities are, yeah. Halo Infinite is my favorite game of 2021.